What if Lent was never meant to be comfortable? Most of us know the rhythm. 40 days. Give something up. Maybe chocolate. Maybe social media. Maybe coffee. And by day 3, we're already negotiating with God. But here's what nobody talks about. What if the thing you gave up was never the point? Ow. Let that sit for a moment. Truth 1. Lent was never about willpower. We've turned a sacred season into a spiritual diet plan. And somewhere in the counting of days, we missed the whole thing. The word Lent comes from the Old English Lenten. It simply means spring, a lengthening of days, light returning. The early church didn't observe Lent to prove they were disciplined. They observed it to prepare, to make room, to hollow out a space inside themselves where resurrection could enter. Because willpower says, look what I gave up. But preparation whispers, look what I'm making room for. Truth 2. Fasting without grief is just dieting. Oh, this one is heavy. In Joel chapter 2, God doesn't say fast. He says, rend your heart and not your garments. The people of that time would tear their clothing in grief. It was visible, public, dramatic. And God looked at them and said, don't tear your clothes. Tear your heart. Ugh. Because it's possible to fast for 40 days and feel nothing. It's possible to give up every comfort and never once kneel in genuine sorrow. Lent without grief is performance. And God has never been impressed by our performance. Truth 3. The wilderness was not a punishment. We read about Jesus in the wilderness, 40 days, hungry, alone, tested. And we quietly assume it was something he had to endure. But Matthew 4 says the Spirit led him there. Led, not pushed, not abandoned. Led. The wilderness was not God turning away. It was God drawing close in the most honest place possible, where there was nothing to hide behind. No crowd, no miracle, no applause. Just Jesus and silence and the voice of the Father. And maybe that's what Lent is really inviting us into. Not 40 days of public sacrifice, but 40 days of honest wilderness, where we stop performing and start listening. Truth 4. What you're fasting from reveals what you're trusting in. Ow. Nobody talks about this one. When something is hard to give up, really hard, that difficulty is telling you something. It's not just a habit. It might be a throne. The Hebrew word for idol is alil. It means nothing, a thing of no worth. And yet we cling. We negotiate. We check our phones one last time before midnight. Lent holds up a mirror. And sometimes we don't love what we see. But that's not condemnation. That's grace. Because you cannot surrender what you haven't first acknowledged. We want Easter without Friday, glory without the garden, joy without the grief. But the entire arc of Lent is teaching us that death is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the truest part. Paul writes in Philippians 3, I want to know Christ and the power of his resurrection and participation in his sufferings. He wanted both, not just the empty tomb, but the weight of the cross, because one without the other is incomplete. And Lent is the sacred invitation to hold both, to sit in the grief, so the joy, when it comes, feels like what it truly is, resurrection. Real, earned, alive. So as these 40 days unfold, don't just count what you've given up. Ask yourself the quieter question. What is God trying to fill in the space you've made? A question that doesn't demand an answer, but refuses to leave.